Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, we're about to have some uncomfortable conversations about Shea Gildress Alexander. We are, because Shea is about to jump a lot of the OGs, a lot of them. With a championship, he's jumping Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. You could argue Kevin Durant. Like, the trajectory Shea is on some Michael Jordan stuff. He's 26 years old, and I haven't seen him fold in a playoff series. I ain't trying to jinx, buddy, but almost every single all-time great player has had a series where they had a stinker. But once Shea became the guy, he became the guy with OKC. And Sam Presti, who we will talk about just a moment from now, surrounded him with great pieces. Shea has always delivered in the playoffs. I want folks to know that last season, the Thunder didn't make the finals because of Shea. Last year, the Thunder lost to the Mavericks because of J Dub and Chet. They did not show up. Shea showed up. Shea matched Luka, but the issue was his supporting cast was not ready. Well, a year goes by, and now we're looking at the other pieces that Shea is with, the J Dubs and Chets, and you add in Caruso, Hartenstein. You're seeing all these guys show up. And I didn't even mention Case and Wiles or Lou Dort, who been there with him in the trenches. And I think what Case and Wiles was like a second year player. Again, talk about Sam Presti. What I'm saying is like Shea is on the verge of having one of the most memorable singular seasons of all time. Like, he will do stuff that LeBron, Steph, or Kevin Durant haven't done in terms of winning MVP, Finals MVP, a championship, and the scoring title in the same season. We're literally watching history, and Shea has the most to gain out of any superstar if he does that. That's a fact. He becomes the best Thunder of all time, the best Thunder player of all time. And he has a case of being the best player on the planet, number two at worst. Right now, he's top three. It's Jokic, it's Giannis, it's SGA, and then it's everybody else. That's the undisputed top three. I'm not trying to hear Tatum, Kawhi. I got respect for Bron and Steph and KD in them, but they just older, bro. So that's the top three. Anthony Edwards is top seven. But Shea showed him that in this top three player conversation, it's levels to this stuff. Like, you much farther from it than many folks might try to say. And I'm a huge Ant fan. Ant's my favorite player. But I ain't gonna lie. This does fall on Ant though. Because in the event the Wolves won, he would get all the credit as he should. But I'm looking at a guy, Anthony Edwards, and I'm saying in game four, that's on you. I'm not trying to hear about Julius Randle. I'm sorry, I'm not. And I'm not trying to hear that Ant needs some more help. Game four, Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo, and Nikhil Alexander Walker all showed up. They gave you 60 plus points. Those three players. Ant shot the ball two times in the first half. I don't give a rat's ass what Julius Randle didn't do. You got to finish the job. And I'm not trying to hear, oh, I was tired. I'm defending this guy. I got to, put up offensive numbers. That's what comes with it. That's why we praise and hold Jordan and Bron and Kobe and Wade and all these all-time greats in these categories, because they were able, when they still got game plan for, to still deliver. So Ant is young, 23, but he's about to feel what Jason Tatum has been feeling. And y'all know I've been hypercritical of Jason Tatum, and I think that he's top 5, top 6, but I don't think he's anywhere close to being that top 3 category. But with Tatum, it was like he won early, so the expectations piled up. Now, Ant did not win as early, but you've been to 2 conference finals in the past 2 years. So now we're about to see Ant start getting more criticism for not winning a championship. Now it's gone from him being that shiny new toy to, all right, we done seen you multiple times against your contemporaries, and Luka outplayed you and Shai outplayed you, and they showed you his levels to this stuff. And, the media is going to be going at Anthony Edwards, right or wrong. And I would say it's right, because it's not like they're picking on him. It's basically what everybody in Ant's shoes has had to go through. Tragic Johnson. What about when Jordan was losing to the Detroit Pistons? LeBron, Mavs series. There's always been that type of thing you got to overcome when you try to get to that point. I think just leaning more into the Timberwolves issue is that they don't have a young point guard. Now, they hope, and if you are a Wolves fan, you hope that Rob Dillingham is the truth. That's who you guys are banking on, because if he is not the truth, you're banking on Mike Conley. And this is not a Mike Conley that was playing in Utah, because it's old, bro. It's a reason why he's saying, hey, get a chip for me, because he's about to be done. And so the Wolves' issue was that they wanted Ant to not only be a scorer, but to also play make. And he's not going to be able to do both. And he's not a playmaker. We got to get this out of our heads. Like Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, they're not playmakers. They can pass. They're not bad playmakers. But when you talk about real deal point guards like the LeBrons, the Jokic's, the Tyrese Halliburtons, in terms of playmakers in this league, there is levels to this stuff. And any championship type of team needs that. They need that. That's what it is. That's what it is. So again, Shai has the most to gain. I am happy for him. And there's going to be some uncomfortable conversations. But the Thunder do not rout the Wolves if J-Dub and Chet don't show up. And Chet specifically, defensively, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He was sensational, especially tonight. He was sensational. But I got to talk about this guy, Sam Presti. Howie Roseman and Sam Presti are the same. They're the same. I mean, Howie Roseman builds through the draft and when needed, makes trades or makes splashes in free agency. Sam Presti does the same exact thing. He drafted J-Dub. He drafted Chet. He drafted Cason Wallace. He traded for SGA. He traded for Caruso. He acquired Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency. Howie Roseman, he drafted Jalen Hurts. He drafted Devontae Smith, Cam Jurgens, Land Dickerson. He got Zach Bond in free agency, Saquon Barkley in free agency, traded for A.J. Brown. I mean, these guys are wizards, bro. They're wizards, bro. So Sam Presti is the NBA's version of Howie Roseman. And that's exactly what it is. They are lapping the field, lapping the field. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, come next NBA draft, if Sam Presti is calling some of these teams, they'll say, hey, like, we're not allowed to talk to you. Just like how there was GMs telling that to Howie Roseman. Because if you're talking to one of those guys, you're going to get fleeced. You're going to get fleeced. But they're masterminds, bro. And so for as much as I have to shout out Shai and J-Dub for snapping and Chet and the entire team, you got Isaiah Joe. I mean, former Sixer is just frustrating because we just continue to just leave talent off the board. And it's just so annoying. Sam Presti is the second MVP for this team. Shai's still number one because this doesn't work out unless Shai becomes a legit top 3 guy, an MVP candidate, and is having an all-time great year. But man, oh man, Sam Presti, have a bow. Have a bow, bro. Have a bow. Ultimately, the Pacers are going to beat the Knicks. I predicted the Pacers to beat the Knicks. And I think the Pacers will give the Thunder more of a fight than the Wolves did. I think the Pacers will give OKC a 6 or 7 game series. It's going to be wildly entertaining. Wildly entertaining. I'm telling you, bro, I don't have the Pacers beating OKC. I got OKC winning the finals. But I'll say this, it's going to be a long series. It's going to be a long series. And if I'm the Pacers, you let Chet, I'm sorry, if I'm the Pacers, I let Shai go off. I let Shai go off. But you have to stop the others. You have to. You cannot let J-Dub go for 30 and Chet go for 20 plus. You can't have both of those guys go for 20 plus. You have to take a page out the Nuggets playbook, and you have better defenders than the Nuggets did. That's why when I'm looking at the Nuggets coach, Adelman, and I'm like, man, oh man, you're the truth. Because I don't know how you was able to extend that series with limited preparation after it was like, 4 games before the playoffs, Mike Malone gets fired. You was able to push OKC to 7 games when they are showing they are levels above the competition. So I gotta give him that credit right there, bro. But ultimately, gotta shout out Shai. He's on the verge of being the best Thunder player of all time. And somebody said this, but it's true. When I see the way that Sam Presti has transformed OKC time after time after time again, I look at the Sixers with more disgust because Sam Presti was always able to pivot every time. When James Harden left, they still got back to the Western Conference Finals up 3-1 against the Warriors. When KD left, Russ has an MVP season. They get Paul George. And then they actually trade Paul George to then get Shai. Oh. And then they somehow, some way get all these picks, and develop a complete team around him while also using the assets from the Paul George trade. And so for the Sixers, who throughout my middle school years and high school years purposely lost, and all they have for it is Joel Embiid, I'm looking at them in disgust because this could have been the Sixers with competent ownership, with a competent GM, really competent GM. But I'll bet my last point on it, the Thunder are a younger version of the Celtics, and they've taken less licks to get to the finals. Remember, the Celtics with Tatum and Brown, they were in conference finals and went to the finals for several years before they won the championship. Shai and J Dub, they just started playing with each other. They just started playing with each other. This is the early stages, and they're already in the finals. And so they're on the verge with all the talent they have around them to really be a dynasty. And Sam Presti is looking at Shai, is looking at J Dub and saying, I want that duo to be what Tatum and Brown are. And Shai is over Tatum. And the way that J Dub has been playing in the conference finals, he's over Jaylen Brown. Now, I would still give Jaylen Brown the edge right now, but it can very well tip depending on how J Dub does in the finals. But when you have two wings, it goes back to Jordan and Pippen. You got two wings, and one of the wings is a good playmaker. Like, I'll give Tatum, he's a good playmaker. Shai is a good playmaker. He's better than Tatum. Scotty is a good playmaker. And they're all hellacious defenders. All you gotta do is either have a legit point guard and or defenders around them and a true big. And so for the Thunder, it was getting Isaiah Hartenstein. And then that gives Chet more room to operate and not putting all of the defensive woes on him. With the Bulls, Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, they had that front court. And with the Celtics, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis. And then when you have a great bench, I mean, it's night-night. So, yes, this Thunder team is literally following the Celtics blueprint, and they're ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for talking about y'all. Always keep it real. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We are out.